You think you know Monsters, Inc.? Think again. Behind every scream and every laugh lies a world Pixar almost didn't dare to finish. A world where Monsters, Inc. was originally titled Monsters Incorporated, where Sully's fur almost broke Pixar's computers, and Boo, the tiny human, changed the heart of the entire story. Even the sushi restaurant attack scene nearly didn't make it. And Randall's chameleon skin? It was a technical nightmare turned masterpiece. Comment and like if you already knew one of these facts, or if you're ready to find out whether your favorite behind-the-scenes secret made it on this list. Because the deeper we go, the stranger Pixar gets. 1. The first animated movie with CGI fur. Have you ever wondered how Sully's fur looks so realistic? Pixar developed its own software program called Fist, which was able to simulate all of his fur as he moved so the animators wouldn't have to animate each individual hair. Sully has 2,320,413 unique hairs on his body, according to Oh My Disney. It took 12 hours to animate one frame when they first tried to animate each hair, so they did something no one did before and changed 3D animation forever.
Nothing's coming out of your closet this year.
2. A Pixar story artist's daughter voiced Boo. The filmmakers originally tried voicing Boo themselves, but it didn't make sense with an adult's voice, so they had to find a kid to play her. Luckily, Rob Gibbs, one of the story artists working on the movie, had a little girl that was around Boo's age. Since she was so young at that time, the filmmakers had to get creative to record her. Mary Gibbs, who plays Boo, said, "They would follow me around the recording studio, use puppets to talk to me, and have my mom tickle me or take money candy away from me to make me laugh and cry. All real emotions." End quote. Number 3. The door vault has millions of doors in it. Another iconic scene in the movie is when Mike and Sully are trying to keep Boo from Randall and end up in the door vault. It's one of the most complex scenes Pixar has ever done, but the result was amazing. The team at Pixar created millions of doors to make it look like a real door vault, where you could go to different parts of the world with each door. According to Oh My Disney, there are about 5.7 million doors in the door vault. That's definitely a lot of work, but it's so magical to see it come to life in the movie. 4. 90% of monsters share the same tongue. Each monster in the film is unique, but a lot of them have one thing in common: they have the same tongue. According to Oh My Disney, 90% of all the monsters in the film have Mike's tongue. Each character has to be modeled on the computer, which is pretty much the CGI version of sculpting, so maybe the filmmakers wanted to make it easier to create them. Number 5. Yoda's voice worked in Monsters Incorporated. Director Pete Docter is a huge Muppet fan, so he had to work with a Muppeteer for the movie. The legendary Muppeteer, Frank Oz, voiced Randall's assistant, Jeff Fungus, who Randall just calls Fungus, and bosses him around to help him with his evil plan. He's voiced a lot of other characters too. Yoda, Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, and Cookie Monster are just 4 of the most famous and incredibly distinct characters that the legendary Frank Oz voices. According to Mental Floss, he also voiced subconscious guard Dave in Inside Out. Number 6. Monsters in the Closet. The concept for the film grew out of early story sessions for Toy Story, as everyone involved confided in believing they always thought their toys came to life. Director Pete Docter hit upon the idea of creating a movie based on a similar childhood belief: monsters hiding in the closet. What if they were real? Why were the monsters there? Did they have a whole other separate life? What would their world be like? The story underwent several changes in its early development, but always focused on the monsters living in their own world. The original concept focused on a 30-year-old man who, as a child, drew pictures of the monsters that would visit him. As an adult, the monsters were coming back to bother him. The man realized that each monster represented a specific fear he had, and if he conquered those fears, he could make the monsters disappear. Number 7. The Sushi Spot Honors, a stop-motion legend. One of the plot twists in the movie is when Boo escapes Sully's bag in the sushi restaurant, where Mike was trying to have a romantic date with Celia, and she scares all of the monsters in there. Since it's such an iconic scene, the filmmakers carefully selected the name of the restaurant and named it after a legendary artist. According to Oh My Disney, Harryhausen's is named for Ray Harryhausen, a pioneer of stop-motion animation. Number 8. Fatherhood transformed the film's message. Pete Docter and the other filmmakers had a hard time finding what Monsters Incorporated was really about in the beginning. When they showed other people material from the movie, they didn't really understand it. But when Pete Docter had a child, he finally realized what it should be about. At the Los Angeles Film Festival, Pete Docter said that having a child changed everything, and he explained that the film eventually became more about Mike and Sully's struggle between the love of family and the love of work. Number 9. Fist. In order to make this possible, the Pixar team created FIST, abbreviated from Physics Tool, simulation software. FIST assisted the animators in placing the hairs on Sully and adjusting the hairs to his movements. Using a software program called Deep Shadowing, Sully's fur would take on different shades according to his movements and interactions with other characters or objects, just as it would in the real world. A similar process was used to animate Boo's hair and shirt.
I haven't even mentioned all the free yaks.
Number 10. Pixar references. As is tradition with Pixar films, hints of other movies can be seen in Monsters Incorporated. Among her toys, Boo has the Luxo ball from Luxo Jr., a Jessie doll from Toy Story 2, and a Nemo stuffed animal, foreshadowing the 2003 blockbuster. Additionally, the Pizza Planet truck from Toy Story, which makes a cameo appearance in nearly every Pixar film, can be spotted next to the trailer where Randall is sent, a trailer that was first seen in A Bug's Life. 11. Tiny but monstrous details. All the artwork in the children's rooms was created specifically for the film, including a Paul Bunyan poster also seen in Toy Story. Each piece of paperwork in the Scare Factory is labeled according to its purpose. Even the cereal boxes in Mike and Sully's apartment list their ingredients, though they are too small to be seen while viewing the film. Are you curious? Their breakfast treats of dirt clods, creature crisp, and prickly puffs contain such delectable morsels as mercury, deadly pufferfish, and depleted uranium. 12. Factory research. More than 20 individual sets were created for the film, each with a high level of detail, and the team traveled to many factories, some as far away as Pittsburgh, for inspiration. Number 13. From Monsters to Monsters Incorporated. The original story was workshopped, ran past different animators and producers, and eventually the addition of Mike and the character development of Sully was what changed the story completely. Boo's age was also changed frequently, ultimately settling on 3 years old. When the director Pete Docter and animators came together to pitch title ideas, longtime Disney animator Joe Grant was the one to suggest Monsters Incorporated. It's been said that he got the idea from the movie Murder Incorporated, a film about an organized crime group in the early 1900s. 14. A buddy story. The next version of the script was that of a buddy story between a monster named Johnson and a child, and was, at this point, simply called Monsters. Instead of being the best scarer on the floor, Johnson was among the worst. He actually bungled so many scares that he was given 1 week to prove himself before being benched. On one such probationary attempt, he entered the room of a young girl named Mary, the youngest and only girl of 10 siblings, whose older brothers constantly tormented her. Mary was convinced that Johnson was one of her brothers in disguise and was unfazed by his efforts to frighten he. Number 15. Randy Newman's first Oscar came from Monsters Incorporated. It was Randy Newman's first Oscar win out of 16 nominations. In 2011, he won his second Oscar for We Belong Together from Toy Story 3, another Pixar project. To date, Newman has earned 20 Academy Award nominations. 16. The film's release. Monsters Incorporated was released in the US on November 2nd, 2001. It was a box office success and was a great follow-up after the Toy Story movies and A Bug's Life. The Pixar short that was released with Monsters Incorporated was For the Birds, which won Best Short Animated Film at the Academy Awards. The film won the Academy Award for Best Original Song for If I Didn't Have You. This was Randy Newman's first Oscar. 17. Hit or miss? Massive, massive, massive hit. It might be a bit old, 24 years old to be precise, but this is a film that is still brilliant for the entire family. The 3D works really well because the animation on the monsters is really crisp. For example, Sully's hair, which is always shaking around and poking about. There's a great action scene towards the end as well, where doors are flying around that looks amazing in 3D. If you prefer to watch your movies in 2D, I'd still definitely recommend it. It's got a great story that has a few surprises in it, especially at the end. The monsters are really weird to look at, and there's loads of attention to detail and funny little facial expressions. Mike and Sully are also a hilarious double act who argue quite a lot, but you can tell they are best buds and it's fun to watch. So when you throw in the really cute little girl that they are all terrified of, it's got everything. You can see how it won an Oscar. 18. Laughter is the best medicine. The movie emphasizes the transformative power of laughter. It has the ability to heal, connect, and bring joy to our lives. We should embrace laughter and find humor in even the most challenging situations. When you don't feel good, though, you don't really feel like laughing all that much. And it's important to seek out humor that does actually get you laughing. Even better if it's with people you like.
Aw, nuts.
19. Don't judge a book by its cover. The film challenges the notion of judging others based on their appearance. Monsters, initially portrayed as fearsome creatures, are revealed to be complex individuals with their own dreams, fears, and vulnerabilities. Similarly, we should avoid making assumptions about people based on stereotypes or first impressions. Everyone has a story worth discovering. I take this lesson to heart, as I have been judged and stereotyped multiple times by people who don't know me but think they know all about me. 20. Embrace change. The Monsters Incorporated company undergoes a significant transformation as they realize that laughter is a far more powerful energy source than screams. This highlights the importance of adapting to change and embracing new ideas. Progress often requires stepping outside of our comfort zones and challenging the status quo. This is so true. When you have an accident that pulls the rug right out from under you, disappearing your life as you know it, you need to learn how to adapt. Adapt to your physical and mental capabilities, adapt to managing multiple healthcare appointments, and adapt to your new brain and body. And that's the world behind the laughter, a world where friendship, fear, and innovation collided to create Monsters Incorporated. From Boo's giggle that melted hearts, to Sully's 2.3 million strands of fur that melted Pixar's CPUs. Each fact is a tiny window into how magic is really made. So after this journey into the Monsters world, which fact truly surprised you the most? Comment the one that blew your mind, like if you never saw Monsters Inc. the same way again. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next door we open might lead to something even weirder.